Hi, welcome to this short video. My name's Steve and what I'm going to do here is show you how to release safely the spring boxes on a Vincent motorcycle. Now, I've tried to do this myself on more than one occasion, and cuts and bruises, it's not the easiest job in the world to do unless you've got the correct tools, which of course nobody seems to have. So what I've done is devised a way safely of removing this. Now, health and safety is not my biggest subject, but clearly you use the right gloves, and what I would also suggest is removing the tank, because if the spring box does decide to let go and hit the tank, then you're in for a very expensive repair, of course. So all I've used is a very simple piece of strapping that you can pick up almost anywhere at any sort of hardware store. It's nylon, so it's very, very strong, of course. There are lots of different types. There are ratchet types, and there are just thumb grip types. This is the one that I've used. So what I've done is I've tied the bottom half around the brake pivot. Now this is quite a strong part of the bike. So what I'm going to do is tie the top part around the back of the top of the spring box. It's quite important to get a good knot here, because you don't want this thing springing out when you're halfway through the operation. What I've done next is to pull this as tight as I possibly can and get as much tension in this as you can. This is fairly tight. This stuff is really, really strong, so there's really no danger of this letting go. Before you do this though, make sure what you are using has no frays or cuts or whatever in it. So just make sure everything is correct. So once I have fitted this, release the top spring box bolt as I'm doing here and remove. And what you'll find, because of the angle of the strapping, there'll be a tendency when you let go for the spring box to come this way, but that's quite normal and it's not really a massive tension. Then what we do is just allow the spring box to lower itself gently and the spring box is off. It's really quite straightforward in operation. Now, putting it back together is very, very simple also, but the beauty of this is the fact that now that we've got the spring box detensioned, I can adjust this, and I'll show you what I mean. If I put this back on and push up here, you can see I'm in the wrong position. We're about ½ an inch out. So all I'm going to do is just put it down to the relaxed position, tighten the webbing, and then push it back up. And I think I'm almost right there. Once I'm back up, bolt back in. Maybe I'm a tad out. I think I've gone a bit too far actually. So just release the tension just a little. And then just push my spring box back up. Not enough now. It is a bit fiddly. You might have to have 2 or 3 attempts to get the right distance. But you can see what we're doing, you can work out what we're doing. We're just adjusting the tension on the spring box so that we can get the bolt in safely. Bolt's now in. Let's screw that up tight. Okay, then of course, tighten the spring box bolt up. Not too tight, obviously, with these. You don't want to strip the thread out of this, otherwise you're in for a new eccentric, which is quite expensive. And then of course just release the webbing, and there we have it. Quite an easy, safe way to remove the spring box on a Vincent. Thanks very much for watching.